John Edwards for Griffins TV alongside head football coach Chad Masters. And Coach, playoff season is abound, and you guys were able to have a week off last week. So you had a little time to regroup after the last game and get yourself prepared for Melville here this week.
Yeah, I mean, it was a first time myself as a coach ever had a bye week. I was always, in 18 districts and everything else, and even when I was coaching as assistant coach at places like Hickman, Jeff City, that was before this kind of system was really set up to where you would have buys. So that was kind of a new experience, but I was able to kind of tap into some resources around me and kind of find out how people did that. But it was great. We had a great opportunity for us to kind of heal up a little bit, to address some issues we still need to take care of, whether they be fundamental or scheme, and just kind of take a breath after a long regular season there, and kind of just refocus ourselves and enjoy ourselves a little bit for a week. And so, we didn't do a whole lot of Melville that week. We just kind of, took care of us. And then we came right back on our standard week of preparation. We would on a normal game plan to kind of keep that same rhythm going.
How hard is it to have for this team a maintenance week, so to speak, considering you guys grinded it for those 9 consecutive weeks?
I don't know if it was hard. I think it was needed at that point. I mean, we played a very challenging and physical schedule, and our kids have stood toe to toe with all those teams and done a lot of really good things. Again, may not show up on a record or scoreboard all the time, but there's nothing for them to hang their heads on or hang their heads down about anything at all. It was just good for us, like I said, exhale a little bit, regroup, and kind of refocus ourselves on what we need to do now in this second season. It actually kind of gave a feel of a natural break. Like you had this season, and now we got that playoff season now. So it was actually kind of nice to have that kind of a reset, and just kind of regroup ourselves, because we've been on like every week, kind of on that edge a little bit as far as always being prepared, always working, always grinding, always doing those things. And was able to, now we can just kind of take a step back, regroup, and then push forward on where we need to be right now.
What have you done this week with this team now that you're moving towards that second season? Like, what's been the challenge for you this week? I know you guys have been pretty banged up over the last couple weeks. You had that maintenance week, but now you move into that season. How do you get them motivated again after having that week off to come back and kind of get the gears going again?
I don't think it was too much trouble, to be honest. I mean, once we left Friday with each other, we said, hey, have a good weekend, relax. When we come back Monday, it's back to normal. It's back to what we got to do. And they came back Monday. They were locked in. They were focused. They were ready to go. And we've had some of our best practice of the year this week. So I don't think, it wasn't some magical speeches given or anything else. But this is a team that still has an awareness of who they are, about what they want to do, and where they've been. And their motivation's high right now. Now we just got to go out and put together a full 4 quarters of a game and play to our best football all year. But again, we've had a great week of practice. Really enjoyed them this week a lot, and they've had a great energy and enthusiasm about themselves all week.
How has this season been for you? The only coach that you were familiar with was Coach Morris. He coached with you with your previous team, but you've pulled together a staff during the course of the summer months to make the staff this year. I'm going to ask, is it the same almost building a relationship with all of these coaches the same way you're building a relationship with the team? And moving forward, is it gotten easier, say, because now you've got all that time together?
I think so. I think, everything's been new this year for everybody. For me, it's obviously a new program, but a new town, a new experience there. We all bring a lot of gifts in to it, and we, just like the kids are getting used to us and us getting used to the kids, we're getting used to each other also. And so that growth, that kind of just natural organic growth that happens with teams and groups of people, has been really good this year. I think we've grown closer together as a staff, as a team, as just overall with kids to kids, and us to the kids, and us with the coaches. It's just been a real nice thing to go through. I've really enjoyed it. Whenever I was at Tolton, I had a lot of staff continuity, which is awesome. I think you need to have staff continuity. And I want this coaching staff to stay together for a very long time because I think it is a very, very good coaching staff. But I haven't had this opportunity to go through a big changeover in almost a decade. And so it's been really reinvigorating a little bit to kind of get into that a little bit and to be with a new group of kids and to just kind of try to work together and find common ground that we can all push together and grow together and enjoy each other. And it's been really good. And again, like I said, the goal is obviously is now for us to become that consistent group for every group of kids coming through from now through the next decade plus, you know.
You have Melville this week coming up. They're 6-3 on the season. We know offensively what we do. Defensively, we've had moments in which we've played really, really well. They've come together. They've meshed well together, and then there's been that lapse in which they've had those breakdowns. You can never really afford those. What's the expectations this week as you get Melville, a team that's really improved over the last couple of years?
Oh yeah, Melville's a good football program. I mean, there's a good tradition there for a long time also. I mean, I was kind of amazed that these two schools haven't played in like what I saw the other day, like, you know, a couple decades. You know, I mean, that's kind of phenomenal in itself. But you know, they're a tough physical team, and I think a lot of times that plays to our favor a little bit. I think sometimes we play that run a little bit better sometimes, and getting, you know, vertically attacked at times. I'm not saying we can't, you know, covering our second and everything else, but it's just always so much harder at times, especially when you're going against some really, really tough athletes like our conference has and everything else. So I think our kids enjoy it whenever they, you know, a team wants to run the ball. We saw that against Edwardsville quite a bit too. You know, so I think it fits well to us this week. I think our kids have gotten better in the last 2 weeks, you know, as far as just comprehending some scheme things and also just, again, getting the mentality of getting all, you know, 11 hats to a ball. And so defensively, I've been real happy with us in the last, you know, couple of weeks, and the recognition of what Melville's trying to do and where they're trying to attack. They've really been on that well. You know, we have Thursday practice to again clean it up and make sure we're good. But so far, I've been impressed with what they've been able to do as a staff and also as a group of kids playing defense.
I joked with you during the course of the year by the amount of touches that Kanan Barkham got, and they continue to grow during the course of the year. He's approaching 1,500 yards on the season, and it's probably something that you really weren't expecting. Have you put him in bubble wrap this past week so he doesn't get banged around a little bit?
You know, hey, Cannon's one of them kids. He's just a tough kid. You know, I don't know if bubble wrap will work. He'll probably find his way out of the bubble wrap to get into something. So, you know, kids will get, you know, wear and tear by the end of the year. It always is at this time of year. So we try to, you know, stay on top of stretching and strength conditioning, things like that. And so I'm not overly concerned right now with where Cannon's at. Now he might disagree at the end of the season, whatever that is. You know, 5 weeks from now, whatever. I was saying, Coach, I'm a little sore right now, but
he's gonna be sore for a long time.
Yeah, he's been a trooper. I mean, and the year he's put together, I knew he had some dynamic ability to him, but I didn't know he was going to get to this point where he is right now. I mean, he's obviously one of the top rushers in the area. You know, I mean, he led the conference in rushing this year. You know, and just pretty impressive stuff for a junior and an undersized kid too. That's the thing too.
He probably had the longest touchdowns of the season, multiple touchdowns of the season, because he had, I think it was 6 touchdowns of 70 yards or more this year. I mean.
And he's got that ability. If he gets open the open field, he can lay it down and really get some chunks of yards right away. So, yeah.
You have a group of seniors this year that have been to the postseason their entire career here at Vianney. This week, what has it been for them that they've stepped up to speak to some of the younger guys who are learning the moment? What has it been for them?
It's been real good. You know, they show some maturity about it. You know, They're used to this journey. A lot of them, especially ones who played some pretty significant amount of time last year, they've been really patient with everybody and taking kind of a teaching approach to them, because we do have so many young players, first-time players, guys who are contributing in big ways that hadn't before. And that's a sign of a good group of mature leaders that are willing to do that, and know that it's bigger than just them. That this is still exciting times for Vianney football, and this program will continue to grow and get better, and they are an important piece of that, both from the success that they've been a part of in the last few years, to kind of raise that standard up a little bit for our school and our community to achieve, but also for them to know when things are still tough, that they can still get good work done, and they can still compete, they can still make things happen. And in the second season, I mean, there's no doubt that they're going to push as hard as they can to see as far as we can go and keep playing. But the maturity which they approach this season, but also this moment, has been really good for our program and for our kids.
Coach, I always appreciate a few minutes. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Let's do this again next week.
That's the plan.
That's let's just keep doing this. It's a good time. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you know what? You survived the year. You had a little apprehension when I said, "Hey, let's sit down on a weekly basis." You're like, "Oh man, do I have to?" But you know what? I appreciate you taking the time out every week and kind of letting our community know what's going on with the football program and keeping them up to date. And you've done a great job this year trying to work with these kids in such a short period of time. And I appreciate all the time that I've got to spend with you this season.
I appreciate it too, and I appreciate being part of this community. It's a special place.
Head coach Chad Masters, we wish them the best of luck against Melville.
Go Riffs.